Okay, well, hi everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Americana Community Music Association, Songwriter to Songwriter. Today we're here with Bob Williams.
Howdy.
And we're just going to listen to a few of his songs and kind of get to know Bob and what his involvement is in music and with the ACMA. So tell us about how you got involved with the ACMA, Bob.
Well, they were doing a outreach about 10 years ago at one of the outlets by 75 in Fort Myers. And I was walking along and I saw them. There's a photo of it someplace. Mm-hmm. And I saw them at a sign up and I kind of checked them out. And I waited till I saw someone playing up there that I wanted to go see. I don't remember who it was. And then I went up and that was it.
So the outreach had like
a booth in the mall outside.
And there was someone playing there too?
Yeah, there was some people playing, but nobody was playing then, but they had some literature.
Oh, okay.
And I know what Americana music is and so forth, and I knew what a listening room was, and I was like pretty excited to go down there and hear music, that kind of music that I loved.
And so how long were you living in Florida before you saw that?
Probably 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we came down to Florida part-time in 2001 and bought a place before we left that season. And we were back and forth for more and more time in Florida, but eventually, within 7 years or so, we were in Florida full time.
Right, I see.
So it took me a couple of years to find them.
Right. You know, I'm sure it's pretty obvious listening to Bob, but what part of Alabama are you from, Bob?
Alabama. I'm from the home of Joey Buttafuoco and Amy Fisher. Massapequa, Long Island is where I grew up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you got involved with the ACMA big time. I mean, was that a slow evolving thing, or did you jump right in?
You know, it happened pretty quick. I'd gone to a couple of shows, and then Alice, who's the president, I gave her a suggestion on someone to play. And as soon as we have this kind of a thing at the ACMA, if you open your mouth, we're like, oh, great idea, you know. What else you got? And we had a conversation, and then I was pretty quickly asked, there was a change. A few people left to move on to Hope I Song, and there was an opportunity, and they needed a couple new people on the board, and I got asked to come on the board. So that's what happened, and the rest is history.
And so what's your role now with the ACMA?
Well, I'm vice president of the ACMA. But the main thing that happened for me at the ACMA was really the first time that I had an opportunity to play my own music.
Right.
And that was the thing that was, they had the Songwriter Circle, but every show has an opening act, and the opening act is a local. So it was the first time that I really had a chance to play a full set, a half-hour set of original music, and that was just an unbelievable experience to be able to do that.
Yeah, I know that the right that a lot of people get into is they can make money as a cover band, like you see in every little bar and restaurant in Florida. But then to be able to play their original music, and not just be able to play original music, but have people listen.
Well, I am a songwriter because I really can't play covers. So I'm a songwriter because I really can't play covers. You know, I don't want to say the weakest, but I am definitely not the strongest musician in the room. So, but so pretty much anything I play, I make my own.
But when you have those ACMA shows, there's a lot of musicians, there's a lot of talent in that room listening, and that can make it harder to play.
Yes, but they're also, to be honest and not to be like a cliche, very encouraging.
Yeah.
People are very encouraging, very encouraging.
Which is good and bad. I mean, it's good, especially when you're first starting out, to have that encouragement. But then if everybody's always nice to you, you never really know when you're...
Oh, no. I would be at the circle and Bill Metz would be shaking his head no like that. So I really struggled with timing. I had to really work hard on that. I still keep working hard on it, but I would see Bill go like this. I thought he was trying to keep the beat, but he wasn't.
So did you start with the ACMA? You started with the board, right? So the singer-songwriter circle came up later?
Well, no, they always had that. They always had the Songwriter Circle, yes. Yeah. But my first thing that I did came up with the idea of doing the ACMA CD.
Right.
Because I wanted to record. So that gave me a lot of things that I did at the ACMA, were based on like what did I want to do for me. So one of the things was let's do an ACMA CD. I could put a song on there. That got me in the recording studio for the first time, and that's how I ended up doing my first full CD. which gave me then the opportunity to do a full show at the ACMA when I did a CD release party. So, and then the other thing that kind of happened is, getting the opportunity to play once or twice your original music was great, but not enough. So I started up singer-songwriter showcases for the ACMA all around the place. We probably had 5 or 6 of them going, and that gave me more opportunities to play. I had to manage them and put them all together, but I got a chance to play.
Right, and you gave that opportunity to lots of other people.
Yes, and then finally around the 7th one is when I did one. I said, all right, this is going to be my own. And actually on that, it was at Fort Myers Beach, and that's how we all hooked up. We all started playing together and formed a band.
Yeah.
And that's another good thing that came out of the ACMA. 4 members, we're in a band, so we do solo work, we play as a band. Then there's quite a lot of other people that form bands and duos and stuff and whatever. And it's just a really great thing that you have all that. You also have, if you're recording or working on something, you have this big pool of people to pull from to help you. If you need someone to put bass on something or percussion or do some background for you, or even when I was buying recording equipment, I had people to call to say, what do you have? And I had 2 people say, buy this one, type of stuff.
So there's the community part of the Americana Community Music
There's a
Association.
real community, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's something that you really find, if anybody's out there watching this who is not a part of the ACMA, is that it does provide this community. It really does, through the songwriter circle, and like he's talking about, there's lots of expertise. It seems like now with recording, it's a new age, because now with a laptop and a few $100s worth of equipment, you can have a recording studio. Doesn't mean you know how to use it, but it means you can have a recording studio.
Well, my last album, probably there's 8 different, maybe even 10, I count, ACMA members that recorded on it, helped with it, between backup, bass, lead guitar, and they were all over the country, including Dave Martin in New Mexico, put down mandolin on something for me.
Yeah.
So.
And even in the last year with COVID, even people you're used to having around are now somewhere far away.
Yes. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
6 feet away.
So how did you get started with music?
Like most people my age, I'm 68 years old. The Beatles on Ed Sullivan. Well, that was it. It wasn't playing Cowboys and Indians anymore.
Did you go out and buy a guitar then?
Someone was giving me guitar lessons. I come from a family of 10. We were middle class, or maybe lower middle class, but probably middle class. But I grew up in a family where you didn't get things.
Right.
So I found someone to give me guitar lessons for $1, and I had a broomstick that I drew the frets and guitars on, and the lines on. And to be really honest, that's back a long time ago, 60 whatever. That's when you had Greases and Gleech and your Roccos, your tough guys. Probably the toughest guy in town heard from his brother that what I was doing. A guy that would cross the street to be away from, Kenny Melendez, a scary guy, gave me a guitar when he heard. And they had action, of course, like this, but it was my first guitar.
Right.
So I basically had a guitar in my hands like most 14 or 15-year-olds, 12 hours a day, and I really wasn't learning. I wasn't really learning. The lessons I were getting were useless. Mm-hmm. So I started learning chords and just started writing songs. And I started writing songs at as soon as I picked up a guitar.
Yeah.
So in my house, the music that was playing was Irish music, the Clancy Brothers, Bob Dylan, Peter, Paul, and Mary. And it was years later I found that they were all friends and they all had the same manager.
Oh.
So that was a influence.
So they were also part of a community.
Yeah. And I also think they say the first music that turns you on is the music that sticks with you the rest of your life. So I'm not going to get the year right, but it was folk rock.
Yeah.
That folk rock music, and which to me, you could call it whatever you want to call it, but that was the music that really...
I was listening to a thing where they said that typically for girls, at the age of 12 is when whatever was playing a lot when they were 12 was music that they still have a special affinity for, and with boys it's 14. So I don't know what the top 40 was when you were 14, but that maybe...
Well, I think what was folk, I know it was folk rock, it was, could go back and play it out, but that's what it was.
Right.
Melody and just that type of thing.
Yeah.
So
how many songs do you think you've written?
well, I have over 50 recorded on my I've done 4 albums on my own, and I've done with the band, Pearl Street Band. So I have, so they're all on my webpage.
And then out the webpage through Reverb Nation.
Yeah. Well, it's not really the early. I lost all those songs. I lost most of those songs, but I have, they're all just lonely little teenage heartbreak stuff. That's, miserable, how miserable I was and stuff like that. But for every,
it's funny. It's exactly the same as my early songs that I now don't play.
Yeah, I carry a book with me. This is, I don't know how many songs, about 20, 30, about 30 songs in here. And any of these songs are songs that I could play.
Those
then
are
I have
originals.
Then I have a book this big of B-grade songs. There's that just, and you write a lot of B-grade songs to get to narrow it down.
Well, you hope you have the wisdom to understand their B-grade and maybe not dig them out.
Well, the great thing about being in a band is you're even more honest than your wife or anybody else. I'll come into stuff with the band and they'll go, nah, that's not ready yet.
Well,
Mike McMillan one time said, when you learn to play that song, we'll play it. So, so that's another good thing. We have that going back and forth, and also when someone else, we have 3 songwriters in the band, when Bill writes a really good song, I'm like, I feel like Paul McCartney to John Lennon, Really?
So tell us about the Pearl Street Band.
Pearl Street Band is really to be 68 years old and to be doing solo stuff, playing original music, and to be in a band with my peers is just this amazing thing that happened. We were doing all these songwriter showcases, and finally I started one. I said, this is just going to be mine. And it was Mike McMillan and I playing in an ice cream store. And it was going to be like different people got invited to play all the time, and we were just having fun. And the first guest we had was Bill, because Bill lived on Fort Myers Beach. He came and
refused to leave.
And and then along the line, we had a big gig opening for the Reckless Saints, anyway. And we asked Clark Johnson, the bass player, to sit in with us, just to help us out with that big show, and he never left. Sorry, thank you. So we have 3 songwriters, an amazing bass player, and we stopped inviting other people. And we really became a band when we started getting asked to play charity gigs, and we do a lot of charity gigs. So that worked out really well. And we were playing some covers, and pretty much it really turned into mostly all original songs, other than a couple good 12-bar blues songs that kind of just brings us all together, old stuff that Mike leads. So it's really been a great experience.
So you got a song for us, Bob?
Yeah, I do. And this is called Why Not Be. And this song came out because I heard someone play a song. Hank Wojcik played a song, Jesus Walking in the Rain, and it was just him on the guitar and the cello. And he's also a member. He's a singer-songwriter from Texas. Very good guy. And I was just like, I really like that. So this is one of the first times I had a song that I knew what I wanted the music to be. Acoustic guitar and a cello. Then I needed lyrics, and I keep 2 notebooks. One notebook of just random phrases or anything I hear for lyrics, and then I keep another notebook of chord progressions and stuff that I write down. So I kind of go back and forth between the 2 when I'm trying to put something together. So this song, I got this song, and then I went in my notebook, and all this stuff was there. So it all just came together. It was just random in the book, but it all came together and fit the song. So it's called Why Not Be. Rocky always knew he was a fighter. Luke's destiny was always a Jedi. Dorothy may have been on the road, She was already home. The glass is half filled, the glass is half empty, the glass is whatever you want it to be. We spend so much time searching for what we already have. Why not be who you are? Why not be who you are? Why not be who you are? Why not be? Cue the cello.
I didn't bring my cello.
The next verses came from something that Steve Earle said at a songwriting thing. You can sue me for if he wants. John wanted to be Bob, Bob wanted to be John. They already were the biggest in the world. John wanted to be taken more seriously, and Bob had enough of that, just wanted to be a rock star. Between the Newport Festival and singing Give Peace a Chance while staying in bed, well, they made history. They both became what they were meant to be. Paul's 79, he's still the cute one. Why not be who you are? Why not be who you are? Why not be who you are? Why not be? They say the best way to kill a good plan is try to make it a perfect plan. If you decide to wait till you're good enough, well, I hope you live long enough. Now, I'm not preaching, I'm trying to tell you something you don't already know. This song is just as much for me as for anyone else, and well, come on now, you know who you are. Why not be who you are? Why not be who you are? Why not be who you are? Why not be?
Nicely done, Bob.
You know, it's a funny chord I have in there.
That's a really funny chord. Looks like you have 5 fingers
it's
going
a
on.
G, and when you're a songwriter, I also write down odd chords because those odd chords make a song and whatever. And I played in Punta Gorda once, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get to that chord. And I had to change. For a while, I was doing that because I just couldn't. I was nervous, but I just screwed it up and couldn't get to that chord no matter what I did. But thank you. I like that song. It's a nice song.
So that song is in A?
Yeah, the rock you always knew he was a fighter. Luke's destiny was a Jedi. That was from a political post talking about something. It was destiny, I guess. And that's good. And I kept that, you know. So
I think that's the thing with a lot of songwriters is like you have to be a little careful around songwriters because you say something and may end up in a song.
it's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
It can be. Depends on what does it say.
That's a very funny story. I'm not going to play the song, but I was playing a full moon party one night, and I came off the stage feeling like Elvis, and there was some cute girl there, woman, you know, we were talking, and she wasn't saying, hey, you did really good or whatever. And I kind of just said to her, how much you got to drink to like me? She was kind of drinking pretty heavy. How much do you need to drink to like me? And a friend walked by me and goes, that's a song. So I went home and I wrote, how much do you need to drink to love me? And it was my first song that's on the ACMA CD.
And I'm guessing that she never reached that level?
Well, the next time there was a full moon party, I played it again and told her it was for her. And she goes, oh, that's the first song anybody ever wrote for me. And I said, I think lots of songs have been written for you. You just haven't heard them.
Well, it's the thing about songwriting too. A lot of people, and including, and I think me early on, I wrote songs when I was young, but I really didn't like them. But it seems like it's such an esoteric skill that a lot of people just can't even imagine doing it.
I can't imagine not doing it. You know, I don't worry about it. I work with inspiration. I try to find inspiration, but you know, I understand the whole Nashville. They go to work from 9 to 5, co-write, they work it. You know, and they make a lot of money.
Right.
I go by inspiration, and I work really hard at trying to write something different, because I've written so many. I can write a love song or miserable breakup song in G pretty quickly. I just don't need any more of those. Yeah.
Well, you still have some of those probably hanging around from your adolescent
Well,
days.
no. I was single from 30 to 40, and that's where like all my material comes from. Okay, that was a lot going on. 85 to 95 toward that show. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes you wonder if you're like a happily married normal guy, how do you play the blues? Where's your inspiration come from? Yeah.
There's plenty out there. You dig in. You dig in. And I'm sure and anybody else knows it. It is a little bit of work to write a happy song. I got happy songs too, and I like to write them. But sometimes you have to dig in and let it go.
Well, yeah. Sometimes happy can be cheesy. That's a pretty.
That's all right. I'll take a cheesy happy song.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly a lot of songs. It's pretty easy, like you said, to write about heartbreak and that kind of stuff. But it's also what a lot of people go through. And most of the songwriters I've interviewed, a lot of them have some story about songwriting as therapy, where they're going through a hard time, or they're just something they need to find a way to communicate, and they do it through songwriting.
My songwriting started from a journal, and then the journal turned into lyrics to it. So yeah. So it's definitely therapy.
Yeah. So now you're in Black Mountain. You're outside of Asheville.
Yep. And this is another story. My Cesspool of Sin T-shirt. I have to tell you, I saw this T-shirt on someone, and this comes from Asheville is a very liberal area, Black Mountain, and a state senator in North Carolina said Asheville is a cesspool of sin. So of course, in Asheville they make a T-shirt of it, And I saw someone wearing this, and I loved it. It took me a long time to track one down. But I put this in a song. I put the lyric in the song about a cesspool and of sin, and because that's just you steal everything. That's all about being a songwriter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I spend my summers in outside of North Carolina. This is our 6th summer up here. It's musicians everywhere, and what's really cool about this area, most of the music is original music, where the Americana Community Music Association of Fort Myers we are the, pretty much the only original music there is. Everything is cover songs, Jimmy Buffett, rock, and all that stuff. Up here, you're going to go out, you're going to mostly hear original music. So it's really a great scene for music, and everybody's a musician.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a younger Nashville, not as polished.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know it kind of reminds me of, this is the first time I've been to Asheville, and it kind of reminds me of like an Austin, Texas, or something where it's an island of blue and it's surrounded by a sea of red.
It brings them all. It's a beacon.
And
it's a cesspool of sin.
People want to go for a swim.
Yeah. There he goes. No.
And so while you're here and while you're going to these shows and things, you're getting ideas and you're bringing them back down to Florida, right?
Yes, of course. I'm hearing great music. I'm jamming with some great people and playing with some people and just having fun. I'm playing a big festival, the Sourwood Festival here in August. By then, this will be over. I did it 2 years ago. It's a big deal. Mike McGillen, this is the great stuff about being from Fort Myers with the ACMA, is Mike is going to be on his way to Mission, and he plays lead guitar with us, and he's going to play with me. So it's just like easy,
He's passing through anyway.
He's passing through anyway.
Yeah. So, Bob, you're telling me the story about how you went down and watched the shindig that they have down here in Asheville.
The shindig is a big deal here. They can have up to 5,000 people, but I think it normally has a couple thousand people. It's a free concert. It's every Saturday night downtown Asheville, beautiful park under a big amphitheater, and it's a lot of bluegrass, traditional music. They do clog dancing, which is a big thing here, which is actually fun when you watch them doing it. And I really believe that the plaza shows for the ACMA could really become a big show for us. Really, I'd love to see 150 people there at every show. So, really looking forward to that's getting started again this year.
When I was there last Saturday, there was like a 15-piece dulcimer band.
Yeah.
They came from all over the region.
Yeah, just all kinds of stuff. But they usually they get up and play like 3 songs and then they're done.
Right. But they also mix a lot. Because I was there. There were like 2 fiddle players that played in.
Yeah, they all, yes, they do a lot of that. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
And then let me just tell you something. When you watch bluegrass people playing lead, you forget about Eric Clapton. Okay.
Yeah,
it's
all about being fast.
And just what they play and how they play and then the around one microphone thing, stepping in and step out. It's really good stuff. It's fun. So yeah, you get all those pieces. I've been trying to think the difference of a professional and non-professional. I was thinking about this morning. Maybe a professional actually has fans. If you have fans that they pay you, you're a professional. Now maybe someone's going to argue. That was just a thought this morning,
Well, accepting money is usually the definition of. So if someone gives you a buck tip,
they're actually paying you for it. You can be a professional level but not get paid for it. I got that.
Yeah. Well, and pros play songs. So you want to play another song there, Bob?
I'm going to play just for the fun of it. This is this is one of my earliest songs that I could find that I have. And why don't you get your guitar, because we played together in the band. And this story's got two stories. A lot of these songs got a new story. This is called What's on Your Mind, and there's two things. We're playing together, and we do the song, and I said, listen, it's an old song because I got Baby in the song. And then I don't think anything. Then Bill goes, here's a brand new song, and he's got Baby in it. The other thing about this song, it's funny, being 68, I was in like 35, and I was going out with some girl in the city that lived she was mid-20s. And we kind of had this thing going, but it wasn't an official thing, but we had a thing. And one day she let me know that she also had a thing going with her 60-year-old boss. And I'm like, oh my God, like with some old geezer. So I always have to think about that when I wrote this song for her. God bless you wherever you are, but for the inspiration. So this is something I wrote years ago. Well, I'm waiting on you. Won't you decide what you're gonna do? I've been seeing only you. Still don't know where I stand. You've been like a mystery. Never know what it's gonna be. You take my hand and I read your eyes, but I can't read between the lines. Baby, what's on your mind? Baby, what's on your mind? Baby, what's on your mind for me? Well, I'm standing here, ain't gonna move another inch. Now you're looking all misunderstood, leaning against the wall, what you waiting for? Well, I don't need no big promises, don't wanna cut no major deal. Hell, I just wanna know, honey, what you holding for? Baby, what's on your mind? Baby, what's on your mind? Baby, what's on your mind for me? Short and sweet.
That was short.
Short and sweet. Well, you could stretch it out, but
That's what you can do when you were with the band. You have got a mic playing and
that's
stuff going on.
But it was a fun song to write back then. I actually had given it to her on a cassette because I had a multi-track cassette player. And the last time I was with her, I looked around, I found the cassette, I stole the cassette back. Wouldn't let her have her song. I'm sure she's sorry now.
And it isn't like what? Maybe she doesn't know she can just go on Reverb Nation and get her sound.
Yeah, no shit, yeah. Well, actually, now we just talked about that. I've been working with this producer, and we had a bunch. I just finished an album, and I had a bunch of leftover songs, and he wanted to do some more stuff. So I have a new album that I have. It's on my webpage. It's called Songs in the Closet. So we were taking songs like this, and just letting him do what he wants. And I said, I'm going to release this probably around the time the video comes out, I guess. And I said, let's make it a pop song. And he just made this a really 60s pop song, you know?
Yeah.
It pops, you know?
Well, it has that poppy
You know?
sound
Yeah,
to it.
so,
I
yeah,
can see
so,
that happening.
yeah, so it'd be fun, you know?
So how many of your songs do you think are written about girls that you wanted to get to know better and didn't?
Well, I always did keep a to-do list. I figured everybody I was dating was going to last like 2 or 3 months, you know. And then I met Shelley and I left it on a high point, let's put it that way.
Yeah, yeah. How long have you been married now?
I'll be 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah. So, and I'm still digging that gold mine of all those girls I bought dinner for. That never saw a credit card before.
And so you were married before?
Yes.
And how long did that one last?
About 7 years. I had a son, Asher, from that marriage.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah. And so you get back to Long Island?
No. Well, we would have been back. We're just not in a hurry to do a lot of traveling with COVID, but normally we would be back at least once a year or so.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you end up in Asheville?
We were searching for a summer place. We would usually get in a car, and we used to own sawmills in Canada and drive from Florida up to Canada with our kayaks and our bikes and stay here for a month, stay here, and then stay in Canada where we had the sawmills and work our way up and work our way back. And the idea of unloading the car, especially I was working, you know, setting up an office at night, taking it down, and just move. We just wanted to be in one place.
Right.
So Asheville fit the bill because of Shelley and I walk every day, we hike every day. The hiking is incredible. The ribs are unbelievable, and there's great music. So, and it's, Bill won't agree with this, but it's a lot less humid than Florida. We did a hike yesterday, it was very humid. But, so.
Tell me about one guitar that you sold that you wish you still had.
Well, just one.
you're the one. The one that got away.
A Hackstrom, one of those Hackstrom, the red plastic back with the plastic front. You know, I lent it to someone, they didn't give it back to me. I ran into his father and I said, you know, he's got my guitar. He goes, how much is it worth? And I said, well, $35. So he gave me $35. No, it was a great guitar. These Hackstrom guitars were great. It's just that they had a, like, Naugahyde back, and they had a plastic front. I'll send you a picture of it, but they, you know, people older know about the Hackstroms, okay? They were great guitars, so yeah, that one. I'm looking at them online, they're like $800, so I might get one eventually. But I don't really play. I have a beautiful Strat sitting at home that I don't play, so I don't really play electric guitar.
So let's talk more about the different shows that the ACMA puts on. Now we talked about the Plaza show, and that's in downtown Fort Myers.
Yep, and that's a free show and great stuff. The ACMA is getting back in August, getting going our first shows again of the year with the normal thing. We're a national touring headliner and a local person opening. Also this year, we started with the virus. We're working with one show a month with the Alliance of the Arts. That's a big outdoor show. That's
that little stage with the pallets in the back.
Yeah, but we can move indoors. That's not pallet. That's the same stuff as this. Fine wood. It
looks great. It has a great stage.
Yeah, and then you can move indoors too. And so we're going to keep doing those shows once a month. And the newest show that we have is we were doing the Songwriters at Sunset, which was a big show, getting 1,000 people.
Right. That was at Lover's Key.
Lover's Key, and it was just, we couldn't keep up with the sound system. I mean, it was amazing to have 80 people in the gazebo and have 900 people being quiet listening, but nothing we could do without going professional was going to bring in sound. So starting in January, we're doing a series once a month, and they have this new Discovery Center. It's a beautiful place, big thing, open, the doors will open, all that. It'll be about 80 people. It's a ticketed thing, $25, which includes admission and 2 glasses of wine. And it's going to be a little different in that it's going to be a songwriters round, but I'm going to run it a little different. It's going to be a little bit more of encouraging the songwriters to also speak about the songwriting process and maybe take some questions and answers. And so just, maybe, I don't want to take away from the music, but I want to make sure it's more than just the music. To me, I don't know, I'm sorry, the most interesting people in the world are songwriters. I talk to songwriters. Well, how did you get that song? The little sparks that take people, look at how someone develops something. What did that song song sound like originally? How did it get to here? I mean, I just love that stuff. I just love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, and some of the best songs are really the very therapeutic ones, and the ones that are from just people who have a keen sense of observation. Like, I think David Wilcox in a show once, he talked about having a conversation with someone after a show, and they were talking about some kind of sad story, and he goes, "Tell me more," and then it ends up as a song.
All right. Well, I was guitar shopping. This guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Nashville, and I ran into Jim Lauderdale, who I just knew who he was, and I ran up to him because we've been trying to get him to play at the ACMA for years, and it just never works out. And he goes, "What are you doing in Nashville?" I said, "I'm guitar shopping." He goes, "Well, let's go guitar shopping." So he hung around with me, and I got a good deal on this guitar, thanks to Jim Lauderdale. And so while I was there, I was talking to the guy. Jim Lauderdale was there. Two of my nephews was there. Shelley was there, and the sales guy. And I just said I never had a guitar I truly loved, other than that Hackster. Never had a guitar I truly loved. And so I'm with all these people, and in my head I'm like, that's a really good line. I never had a guitar I truly loved. I never had a car I truly. I could write a song. So I'm sitting there in my head. The song is spinning in my head while I'm buying a guitar. So,
okay.
And then the rest was history.
And so maybe you should play that song.
And you call this a triple love song. So.
It's a triple love song. Each verse he talks about something he loves.
Oh, I got to change it on here. I'm sorry. I have to get back. So this is called "That's When You Know," and this song is. This song has a. I recorded the song and wasn't really happy with it, and then I knew I liked the song, and then I recorded the song with Roy Schneider. He did the engineering and sang on it and played on it.
At Shiny New Records.
And he did an incredible job. It sounds like I'm in the Eagles. He did a great job, And then I was really struggling playing the guitar, and I said to Roy, "How'd you get that guitar thing straightened out?" He finally admitted he took me off. Okay, so I did the vocals, which I found out is not really the end of the world. If you wrote the song and someone can play what you wrote better for the recording and keep it on time, that's fine. If someone has a problem with that, I don't really care.
Yeah.
So this is, and then we also did the song live. We recorded it on our Pearl Street album. So even though Jim Lauderdale,
sounds like a red-shouldered hawk.
Okay, we'll wait to the hawk. Even though Jim Lauderdale was the guy to help me buy the guitar, I had been looking at Carter's vintage music early at Steve Earle's guitars. And I'm sorry, Jim, if you're listening, but I put Steve Earle in the song that year. Which is the story of the life of Jim Lauderdale.
Someone's always...
He's always doesn't get what he deserves. Never had a guitar that I truly loved. I picked her up in Nashville. Steve Earle had let her go. Could she have a few more in her? Couldn't wait to get her alone. All these songs later, she's screaming out with more. True love will find you, wraps her arms around you. When you can't let go, that's when you know. That's when you'll know. That's when you'll know. Never had a woman that I really loved. I whispered the L word when I was passing through, working one more sales call. She was working too. A few words and 30 years later, we're still going strong. True love will find you, wrap her arms around you. When you can't let go,
you know, that's when you'll know, that's when you'll know. Never had a place that I could call home. Didn't find the right one, so I just moved along. Ended on this island, it's the island life for me. I love this crazy sandbar, I'm never gonna leave. True love will find you, wrap her arms around you. When you can't let go, that's when you know. That's when you'll know.
I know you have a comment.
Because Bob has since left the crazy little sandbar. Not
Oh,
very far off the island, but
No,
he's
not off.
a little bit off the island.
But when I play this in the mountains, I usually change it about being in the valley and not leaving the mountains. So
Oh, well, yeah.
just another bullshit artist songwriter trying to get a hit record.
Well, I'm sure you know there are plenty of people who've written love songs about love that ended up getting sour, right?
Yeah.
So
But one thing I want to say, if this video ever gets out to people beyond the ACMA, if you're a singer-songwriter, check us out, because you're gonna not only you're gonna find a community of people that support you and want to hear you. You're gonna find camaraderie. You're gonna find people that'll work with you, play with you. And if you're a listener and you're looking for a great night out to meet likewise people, to just have a good time, that want to listen to music and socialize, it's the right place. It's a real sense of community.
I'll agree. That's how Bob and I got to know each other. And if you're just starting out the singer-songwriter circle, if you just like original music, there's some great shows that are put on. They're reasonable, and the artists they get, with the main shows they do, they have a regular member of the ACMA opening for a touring act, and so you get to see some surprisingly good local people and some great touring acts.
Well, the touring acts are interesting because they're generally the under the wire should be famous people.
Yeah.
And they're a lot of times they're the people that produce records for other people and so forth. And they're just really good musicians, really good people. And they just love being in a quiet room and meeting the people. And it's just all good stuff.
Yeah.
Love it.
So that kind of wraps it up. I just want to thank the ACMA for this, but also Bob's a big part of the ACMA, and I've heard people talk about the great things he's done, make it more approachable and friendly, and really generate a lot of these new venues that people love to be able to play at, and that are great for listeners. So thanks to Bob, and thanks to the ACMA, and
thank you, Bill, and thanks for the opportunity. Hope everybody likes our setting.
Yeah, we're not on the beach.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
All right, call that a wrap.